Dan, I manage a team, small team. I was wondering what tools you could show me within the new version 15 will help me manage them, in a more productive way.
Okay, so version 15 has brought together a lot of different tools all into one application or one area called performance management. So let's start talking a little bit about the application itself. This is the demo that we saw earlier, and this is Herschel again. And what we're looking at here is the performance overview screen. We can track and manage any data that's really important to the business. That data might come from a customer relationship management or CRM tool, payroll, really any system you can think of. If it's important, you need to know about it, then this is a really good way of tracking it. So looking at the screen here, it's designed to provide a very powerful and a very visual representation of how Herschel's performing. So take a look at the screen already, and let's focus over here on the performance overview. What can you see first off by looking at Herschel's view there?
He's got a lot of red indicators, which I'm guessing going to be bad or not so good. We've got a green one, which is on target or is on par.
So already you can see the different colours, and the colours you'll see will range from from red, as you said, bad, to green, or an amber in between. And there are different colours that we'll see coming through, and the colours tell us immediately what's good and what's bad. But these little graphics that we've got, each one of these represents a different measure or KPI, key performance indicator, a different thing that we're measuring Herschel on. And let's focus on one of these. So I'm going to focus on over here on hold contacts. Now you can see, looking at this one here, you can see immediately Herschel currently has got 38% of contacts that use hold or go on hold. Yes. This is the actual value that Herschel's got. Now, if you look at this one here, you can also see, looking at the graphic, a trend. So this little line here is telling you what the trend is doing. And you can also see down here a value which we refer to as the goal. This is the target that we would like Herschel to obtain. So let's now try and think about understanding a little bit about what we're looking at here. What I'd like to do is make sure that my team, or none of my team, put more than 15% of calls on hold. What you can see here is the individual scores that have been obtained for this performance KPI. Each one of these points that shows up as I move the mouse across are different measurements that we've taken. Typically data is collected once a day, but if you have a license for intraday, you can collect data throughout the day. So I can see each of these points where the number of calls that Herschel's put on hold. Now, looking at this figure here, let's try and understand a little bit about what we're looking at. If we turn the goal back on again, we can see that we're looking for 15, and we're well above 15. Yes. And if I put on the trend line, which shows as a dashed line on this screen here, what can you see?
I can see that it's, instead of mirroring or going down towards the predicted 15% that we want, it's going up.
So what we could say is, looking at that, is over this time frame, Herschel's performance is getting worse. So as a manager, what we like to do is, now that we know there's a problem, we need to do something about it. We can't just leave it. As I mentioned at the beginning of this tool is designed to put everything you need directly at your fingertips. So from this screen, I now have the option to assign a coaching session to Herschel. A coaching session is basically a meeting where you will sit down with Herschel to provide training or guidance about what you've just seen. Now, because we have workforce management, it's really important that we try and make sure that these meetings take place at the most appropriate times, where they're going to have the least impact on service level. I can click onto this little C icon here and create a coaching session. Now, when I go into here, I can attach the KPI that we're looking at and click on Next. That will collect all the details that you just had on that screen and will attach them to this record. What I'm going to do now is I can fill in the details about the coaching session that I'd like to have. A coaching session is basically a meeting where you will sit down with Herschel to provide training or guidance about what you've just seen, to give you an opportunity to provide some guidance or some training to help Herschel fix the problem, to improve. Now, because we have workforce management, it's really important that we try and make sure that these meetings take place at the most appropriate times, where they're going to have the least impact on service level. What will happen once you create this request is the request will go through to the planning team, and it will automatically schedule the coach, the person who's going to do the meeting, and Herschel at a convenient time where it's going to have the least impact on service level, put them together so that they can do the coaching session. So from this screen here, I can start by selecting the KPI that I want to discuss with Herschel, and what this will do is connect that KPI to the coaching request, so that when you or Herschel look at it, you'll have this data always there as a reminder, so you can refer back to the KPI that's created the request. As well as the coaching plan, with version 15 is a new feature called a performance plan. And a performance plan, shown by this little icon here, is designed to provide some form of structured plan to get Herschel back on track. Again, I can link to one or more KPIs to provide the feedback that I want with the performance plan. So again, Herschel knows why the plan is there and also can look at the data over time. And in a performance plan, what you're doing is basically saying what score or performance that Herschel has to obtain by a particular date or time frame. So as you can see here, Herschel is asked to get his hold usage down to 30% by the 12th, 25% by the 19th, and 15%, which is the goal that we're aiming for, by the 26th. So it provides steps and a timescale for Herschel to actually aim for. And Herschel can look at this to make sure that he's going in the right direction. And also, as a manager, it allows you to track whether Herschel is progressing, going in the right place. So we've had a look at the tools for helping Herschel get back on track and fixing the problem. What else might you be interested in doing?
Well, we need to get to the root, maybe the root cause, maybe listen to some of his calls to see why he's putting the calls on hold.
Okay, it's a great point. So the tool is not just about visualizing what's going on, and it's also not just about understanding that there is a problem. As you say, you need to know why the problems are occurring in the first place. So what I can do now by clicking onto the interactions button is I can go and quickly find any recording that's been made in the system during the time frame that I'm interested in. And I can now listen to those recordings from the same area of the application and actually understand why Herschel had to use the hold feature. In this way, not only do I understand that there is a problem, but I can also understand why that problem is happening.